Rewatching the same shows feels comforting, but sometimes it's not comfort. It's avoidance, dressed as relaxation. When life feels unpredictable, your brain looks for places where nothing can go wrong. Every new choice costs energy. Every unknown outcome creates tension. Familiar stories remove both. You already know who survives. You already know how it ends. No surprises, no decisions, no risk. That relief is real. Your nervous system calms down. In this video, we'll break down why your brain prefers familiar stories, how rewatching can either help your mind recover or slowly turn into avoidance, and how to tell which one is happening to you. If you keep choosing the familiar over the unknown, this video will help you understand why. Why the brain prefers familiar stories. Your brain is built to predict. Prediction helps you survive. When something is familiar, your brain feels safe. It does not need to stay alert. It does not need to prepare for danger. New stories are different. They require attention. They create uncertainty. Your brain must follow the plot, read emotions, and guess what will happen next. This costs energy. After a long day, your brain often does not want stimulation. It wants stability. Familiar stories give exactly that. This is why rewatching feels easy. It lowers mental effort. It reduces stress. This reaction is natural. It does not mean something is wrong with you. Rewatching as a form of recovery. In many situations, rewatching is helpful. When your nervous system is tired, familiar stories help it slow down. Your breathing becomes calmer. Your body relaxes. You also return to characters you trust. You know how they think. You know what values they have. This creates emotional safety. For people with anxiety, stress, or heavy responsibility, this can be important. The mind finally gets a break. In this case, rewatching supports recovery. It helps your brain reset. It helps you feel grounded again. After that, you usually feel ready to return to real life, to conversations, to decisions, to new experiences. That is a key sign of recovery. When rewatching becomes avoidance, the same habit can slowly change its role. Rewatching becomes a problem when it replaces engagement with life. You might notice that you always choose familiar shows, even when you are not tired. New stories feel uncomfortable. Unexpected situations feel stressful. You delay decisions by watching another episode. You use familiar stories to avoid difficult thoughts or actions. In this case, rewatching is no longer recovery. It becomes avoidance. Your brain learns a simple rule. Familiar feels safe. Unknown feels dangerous. Over time, this rule spreads beyond entertainment. You may avoid new conversations, new opportunities, new challenges, not because they are bad, but because they are uncertain. Why avoidance feels so relieving. Avoidance works in the short term. When you avoid something stressful, your body relaxes quickly. Your stress level drops. Your brain connects avoidance with relief. That is why avoidance feels good at first. But there is a cost. Each time you avoid uncertainty, your tolerance for it becomes lower. Next time, the same situation feels even harder. This creates a loop. Stress leads to avoidance. Avoidance reduces stress for a moment, but increases fear in the long run. Rewatching can become part of this loop, not because the shows are harmful, but because the habit trains your brain to escape instead of adapt. How to tell recovery from avoidance. There is a simple way to tell the difference. Ask yourself how you feel after watching. If you feel calmer and more open to life, it was recovery. If you feel stuck, numb, or still avoiding something important, it was avoidance. Another signal is duration. Recovery has a natural end. Avoidance does not. Recovery prepares you to return to life. Avoidance helps you postpone it. The key difference is not what you watch, but why you watch it. Awareness changes the habit. You do not need to stop rewatching shows. The goal is not control. The goal is awareness. When you notice why you press play, you regain choice. Sometimes your brain needs rest. Sometimes it is avoiding discomfort. Both can exist. The problem starts when avoidance happens without awareness. Once you see it, the habit loses its power, not because you fight it, but because you understand it. Finding a healthy balance. A healthy mind can enjoy comfort and still face uncertainty. It can rest in the familiar and explore something new. Rewatching becomes harmful only when it replaces growth. So the real question is not, why do I rewatch the same shows? The better question is, what am I avoiding right now? Sometimes the answer is nothing, and that is perfectly fine. Sometimes the answer is uncomfortable, and that is valuable information. Your brain is not broken for seeking familiar stories. It is trying to protect you. But comfort always sends a signal. If you listen carefully, it can tell you whether your mind is healing or hiding. That awareness is where change begins. How often do you rewatch the same shows or movies? And what do you think your brain is really looking for? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience might help someone recognize this pattern. This is the if verse, where your mind becomes easier to understand. Subscribe. There's so much more to explore. Thank you for watching.